If you're looking for wholesome and hearty salads, you've come to the right spot because I've got a great recipe for you. This is my chicken and celery salad. And what brings it all together is the dressing. I'm going to be making the dressing out of cottage cheese, super versatile. First, let's get onto the chicken. Now, I've got some chicken thighs. I've got the skin on. Of course, you can remove the skin. I just love the skin in a salad because it's going to go super crispy as it cooks in the oven. So a good glug of oil into a pan that's oven safe. If your pan is not oven safe, I recommend grilling in the pan to start with and then transfer into a baking dish. And seasoning that chicken skin, and that can go straight into the pan. Just want to render that fat off. I'll also add another pinch of salt to the flesh. Okay, to really bulk out this salad, I'm going to add some croutons. So I've got some 2-day-old sourdough. Don't waste it. This is a perfect opportunity to use it up. So I'm just going to cut them into battens, and then we'll just line them up like little soldiers and then cut them into cubes. And these are going to cook in that delicious chicken fat, and that olive oil are going to be beautiful. So it's all about timing when you're going to add these croutons. The chicken is obviously going to take a little longer to cook, so we're giving the chicken a bit of a head start before we add our croutons. So cutting them into chunks. And you see, if this bread was fresh, you wouldn't be able to cut it into these perfect squares. So please do use old stale bread for this. All right, let's have a look at our chicken. Ah, look at that. Chicken crackling, as I like to call it, just right. And you can see there's lots of fat that's rendered from that chicken skin, which is perfect for our croutons now. So in with our croutons, and these croutons are going to be like sponges and really mop up all of that oil. So toss all the croutons in the oil, just so they're completely coated. I might season the croutons with a pinch of salt, just a small amount. This can now go into the oven. It's going to cook for about 10 to 12 minutes because it is chicken thigh. Keep an eye on the croutons. If they look like they're getting too golden, just give them a bit of a toss. Okay, we can get onto our cottage cheese dressing. So this is based on a Caesar-style dressing, but instead of all of that mayonnaise, we're going to use cottage cheese. So this is so much better for you. And I really love the tang and the creaminess that you get from the cottage cheese. So we're going to add a whole tub into a blender. To this, I'm going to add some Dijon mustard and some garlic. I'm going to mince the garlic. I only use half of the garlic because I don't want it to overpower the sauce. To that, the zest of some lemon straight into that jug, and the juice of all of this lemon because I really want this to be quite tangy. Okay, we'll squeeze that in. And we want a big hit of savouriness, and you get that with the combination of parmesan cheese and anchovies. I really love the addition of the anchovies because they are quite salty. It's not going to be too fishy, particularly if you use really good quality anchovies. Okay, so 2 to 3 anchovies. There we go. And a little of that oil. And another pinch of salt. All right, the lid goes on and we're going to give it a good blend. Okay, once it starts to come together, just check the consistency. If it's slightly thick, just add a splash of water. You can also add a hint of olive oil too. Okay, one last blend. All right, have a look at this delicious dressing. All of those curds have smoothed out this beautiful dressing. When you look at that, you think it's mayonnaise, but it's a lovely, healthy cottage cheese dressing. So we'll finish cooking our chicken and then we can bring our salad together. Chicken has come out of the oven. I'm just allowing it to rest on a board. You don't want to cut it straight away because all the juices will run everywhere. So just allow that chicken to rest nicely and have a look at these croutons. super crispy, and they are going to taste so nice. All right, back to the salad, the celery. Whenever I'm using celery in a salad, I highly recommend peeling it so we don't get those stringy bits. So it's as simple as using any type of peeler. I'm using a speed peeler, and it's just going to be much more palatable if you just take some of the fibrous part off. I'll also just trim the base of it. And we're just going to cut this on an angle. So nice thin pieces of crunchy celery for this salad. Great. Into a bowl, along with some dill. You could also use parsley or mint, both great options for this chicken salad. I'm just going to roughly chop it. In it goes. And then to bulk it out, some lettuce. I've got some cos lettuce. I'm just going to use the hearts here, and we're just going to roughly chop it. Pop that in. Might add just a few more of these leaves. Okay, over to our chicken. It's rested, so we're just going to roughly chop it up. This is why I love chicken thigh, because it stays super juicy. Of course, if you wanted to, you could use chicken breast too. Okay, and in with the chicken. Go. And our croutons, you want to leave them to the last minute, just a few of those. And I'll just keep a few for the garnish later on. And now time to dress this with our gorgeous dressing, our cottage cheese dressing. Look at that, lovely and thick. And I like to use a fork and a spoon just to toss everything together. Look at that, so creamy, but also really light and tangy because we've used that cottage cheese. Okay, this is one of those salads. Once you've tossed it, it's time to eat it. Don't wait around because you want everything to stay super crunchy. And I'm just going to use my tongs here just to pile everything in the centre. Making sure we get even amounts of the chicken and that cos lettuce, those crunchy croutons. And just to really show off those croutons, I like to keep some undressed. Just poke them in and around the dish, and some extra parmesan over the top. Fantastic. It's really giving off Caesar salad vibes, but a much lighter version, packed full of protein here, not only from the chicken, but cottage cheese. It is full of protein and it's really good for you. Like I said, it's versatile.